time, our executive producer says, well, I don't know, you're already doing the Beavers, and we don't want you to be doing 2 shows at once, and blah, blah, blah. Make a long story short, I lost the job. And I was like, really bummed, because I really wanted to do it, but they went ahead and made the pilot with Billy West, and before the pilot ever aired, they were about to ship it to New York, the 80 Beavers ended. And so Jonan came back and said, well, you're not doing any Beavers now, so come in and will you just watch a couple of the scenes from the pilot and you dub over Billy? And I said, yeah, let's do it. So we did it, and Jonan pitched it a little bit, so you can hear that it's pitched. In like the early episodes, you'll notice that Zim is more pitched than he ended up becoming, because Jonan just liked my voice naturally. But he made it a little kind of robotic sound, or alien sound. And New York said, yeah, you got it. And one of my favorite stories that I always like to relate is that they always talk about, like on Nickelodeon, though, it's like the never-before-seen Invader Zim pilot with Billy West. Well, what the thing is if you listen to it, and I don't know if you realize it, 70% of every line is me, and 30% is Billy, because I dubbed over.
It actually began with Billy talking and end with you laughing.
And then with me laughing, yeah. So the reason I don't get credit on the pilot episode is because at the time I was just ADR in it, meaning I was just an extra voice or an additional voice. But it's predominantly me in that pilot. So that's how I got involved.
Melissa, how did you get wrapped up with these crazy people?
So I got a call from my agent, and we were going to go in for a pilot of a new show. It's called Invader Zim, and I had to go. So I went to Terry Berlin.
Yeah.
Originally, right? Didn't
Yes,
she cast the pilot originally, and then it went to Donna Grillo, right? So Terry Berlin. But it wasn't in a regular going to a booth with a microphone. It was like going to her casting office, which was like an on-camera casting office. So I was like, well, where's the booth? So she's like, no, just come into this room. And they set up like a microphone in the middle of the room, and on the floor was like this guy sitting on the floor with like his long black coat and his stripy socks and his big boots and his glasses, jet black hair, and he was like, I'm like, oh, this is the voiceover audition, okay. And Terry's like, this is the creator of the show, his name is Jonan. And I'm like, hey, Jonan, because he's like sitting on the ground in front of me, and he,
eating a baby.
Exactly, dessert. Anyways, so I do the audition, and he gives me like a little direction and things, and that was it. And I auditioned, and I thought, oh, I think it went pretty well. And I can't remember if there was a callback. I don't know. I don't know if there was, but I remember thinking I was wearing overalls, and I was like, oh man, I bet he thinks those overalls look so stupid. Because I thought he was so cool, like just his whole look, but he was like, Jonan.
It was so funny because at the time, Nickelodeon Studios opened in about 1995 or 96 or so, the ones in Burbank, and it's just all really vibrant oranges and green splat colors. And you always knew the Invader Zim crew because everyone was in dark black, pasty,
yes.
like Rikkie. And
You used to have jet black hair too.
the lights, the fluorescent lights were all covered with like dark violet.
Yes. I thought there's no way. So I didn't dress for this audition.
Yeah, and I was like,
voiceover.
swear to God.
But I got it, and I was like, whoa, this is gonna be really cool. And
It's the voice on, right?
oh yeah, okay, so right, because he showed me a little picture of her. That's right, so Jonan showed me like a little rendering of Gaz. And I was like, oh, look at her, she's got like slanty eyes, and like she can't see her eyeballs, and she looks really intense, and yeah, he gave me some of that direction, thank you for reminding me this. And I was like, looks like little girl Jack Nicholson. That's kind of how I created Gaz. So, thank God you showed me that picture of her.
That is the best Betty Boop I have
Betty Boop after us.
Yeah.
Right? Retired Betty.
So that's kind of how you guys got started into Invader Zim. Before we get into like the movie and stuff like that, over the years, like what was it like? What was it like working on the show? How did you feel? Did you think it was going to be as big as it was? Did you think this giant crowd would show up? Like how did you first think about the show when you were first starting that first season?
You know, we didn't really, for me personally, I think we all agreed over the years, we didn't really think about the audience as a whole because we were having so much fun on our own in the booth recording that, I mean, we were all like, it was just like, you know, every now and then, once in a millennium, you get a group where everyone just gels with each other. So the writing was at the top of its game, our playing was at the top of our game, the animation was at the top of its game. It was like nothing that I had ever seen, and I did a lot of work, but if I wasn't in Invader Zim, I would still be a huge fan of the show. So we didn't really have an idea of how it was doing, because if you went by how it was doing, we weren't doing well at all. But we knew we had something that wasn't being done, and it was just really like amazing. It wasn't until the show was canceled and then we all hit the road in a bunch of these conventions all over the world where we realized how far we were reaching, the audiences we were reaching all over the world, which was like, wow, this isn't going anywhere. This isn't going anywhere fast. And now people have their own kids that are being raised on Invader Zim. And
Good job.
good job. Good work. Good work. You're all part of the collective now. And so it doesn't surprise me that it's done as well as it's done. And yeah, I think it's because of the fans that were even back for this movie. Of course it is. So.
I agree.
You guys, the fans. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was also a crew member. I was a colorist on the show.
On a ship.
Yeah. So I painted 700 backgrounds on the show. Anytime you see it in space, it's pretty much my space. My space. So it's like dead twice. What I would do is I would work in the morning, a lot of color, until they called me in to walk down the hallway to do a voice. But I would get the scripts before anyone else in the color department, because you get the scripts for the voiceover first, and we could do voice first before anything else. And I would get them, and they'd be like, oh, here's an episode coming up in 2 months, we're going to start working on it. So I would sit in the color department, I'd read the script before going down the hall, and I'd read it, and then I'd start packing up my office, because I'd read what's in the script. Especially with Dark Harvest. No, this show is not good.
Anytime I look up
We're fired.
Anytime I look at panels like this, it reminds me of Dark Harvest.
It's like a thing.
In school, those school panels.
That was fun though. It was more relaxing doing, and more fun doing the voiceover than color. I don't do color anymore because that's horrible.
You can't stay in the lines.
Well, you end up like you ever watch like the Lord of the Rings?
No, what's that?
the documentary. I'm gonna say if I finish it. That's fine.
What is Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Fill us in on that.
It's a children's book.
Oh.
So in the documentaries, they show like how they made it. They show like the actors like on a hill, like all bright in sunshine, and they're like, oh, let's roll down the hill. And they fall off a horse, and like, they're fighting. And then they show like, now let's interview the CG guys in the dark room. That's what it's like coloring on a show. So I like to do it.
So who's Gandalf?
That would be Gandalf, the janitor.
Thou shalt not urinate!
I just want to add to the whole original studio time when we were all in the studio together, and it was so unique. I had never experienced, and still have not experienced, what we experienced in the studio in the old days.
Are you allowed to talk about it?
Not horrifying. No, not horrifying at all, yes. But there was such an immediate camaraderie and such an immediate chemistry between everyone. From Jonan and everyone on the other side of the booth to all of us in the booth, and Richard completely sealed in a booth by himself because he just bounced off the windows. Yeah. For our protection and his.
I thought it said gas, not gas.
Not gas. But no, interesting though. But interesting, I mean, it was so unique and it was so incredible. It just felt like magic, and we had no idea what was going to happen with the show. We just knew we were having a great time doing what we were doing. And then if you even jump to when we started going into the studio, am I jumping on a question? No, I mean, jump into, you know, in the last couple of years when we were in the studio for the movie, we fell right back in. And yes, we've been seeing all of each other for the last however many years, going to cons. There were several Invader cons, and we've traveled together. You guys have traveled together a lot, and so we've had a chance to check in with each other over the years. And I always feel like I've seen my brothers, and like we're a family. So no, I mean that. And you know, I have 3 brothers, and I have 2 more. Look at you guys. What?
You owe me money.
Let's not talk about that, Richard.
That's family.
I have a gambling problem. I'm sorry. Chica. But anyways, listen. I wanted to say about going back into the studio. What I noticed mostly was Jonan, how he has grown. No, seriously,
He's
like
18 now.
he was 18. he's like an adult. He's like an adult now. But
Now, let's not get too crazy.
no. But he was even more inspired, I felt like. I mean, I was so inspired by him when he was so young doing the show originally, but you know, working with him now, I thought, oh my God, he has such a vision that he has kept, and it's gotten even better. So it was amazing going back in.
He really likes directing voiceover.
He's so good at it.
Yeah.
He's so good.
We used to walk into the booth, and Melissa's telling you about those boots he had. They're like really big. And you'd walk in, and he would just like lift his leg up when you'd walk in and like, boom, and punch his foot at you like he's gonna kick you in the stomach. Yeah!
It's actually not an exaggeration.
It's not exaggeration.
He wouldn't. He would give you one of those. But when we first met him, didn't he like have a collapsed lung?
Yes.
He did.
He had 2 collapsed lungs. He went in for 2 surgeries to fix his lungs.
He was like gray. Like he was so young. He had 2 collapsed lungs.
I almost killed him by accident. He stayed at my apartment, and
20 days.
after one of his, no, well, it was a few days, after one of his surgeries, he was laying on my couch, and I put on Freakazoid. And there was a scene where they're doing a spit take that went on forever, and he was laughing so hard, he's like, turn it off! Turn it off! He said surgery, sorry.
Speaking of Jonan, Jonan could not make it today. Rikkie, why couldn't Jonan?
Oh, it's his birthday.
What? It's his birthday! We
His
should
birthday
say
is September 1st. Mine's September 8th. Don't forget that.
Don't forget it.
So happy birthday to Jonan, but he sadly could not make us. He made them. He didn't make them.
He's my father. He's 4 years younger than me, but he's my dad.
And Dib, unfortunately, all the way in Canada.
Right.
He lives there?
Dib. Yes. Danny. Berman.
Whatever name you know him by.
He lives in Canada now?
He's a producer.
He's shooting.
He's shooting. I got it.
So something doesn't count for there. But yeah, if you guys know, you can tell Jonan that you were here. Tell him happy birthday, and tell him he should have came.
Right, yeah.
That's right.
good birthday
I
gift.
don't care about your
You
birthday.
should have been here.
Yeah, I agree.
So you guys did the first season. You guys did it for so long, and then it was gone. I kind of want to talk about that. I know it's a little sad. We're gonna bring down the room.
No, it wasn't sad at all because they shot everybody else and we escaped. Running through the cornfield and hearing gunshots.
In animation, shows go, and sometimes you just never know when it's going to end. Sometimes it could go forever. Sometimes it's going to be 1, 2 seasons, maybe 1 season, and you get canceled. What was it like, kind of as a collective, as a family, maybe, when you guys got that news?
Well, it was horrible because we hadn't gone very long. We'd only done a season and we would just started into the second season. And, you know, you think, oh, we got picked up for another season. I think I'm going to go buy a car. And then, literally, we recorded an episode. And that very same day, I was called to the executive producer's office, Mary Harrington, and Jonah was in there. And he was just, like, really agitated and just looked at me. And he said, we're canceling. I'm like, what? He goes, we're canceling. I said, what do you mean? They don't cancel shows here. He goes, no. He goes, no. He goes, you know how like next week we're supposed to record on Tuesday? I said, yeah. He goes, don't show up. I said, really? He goes, yeah, no, I'm serious. And he was upset. We were all upset. The reason they brought me in was because I got to go with Mary and Jonah to tell the crew. You remember this?
I do, because
And
I was there.
you were there. So, literally, everyone's in there having fun, everyone's drawing. Rikkie had just sold an episode that he was
Yeah.
going to write
Yeah.
for the show, and he was busy writing it.
Yeah.
And I said, so you want me to go with you to break this news? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, so we walked out of Mary's office, and you know, Jonah and Mary said, everyone come on out of your offices. And we gathered in like the video game area of the couch area, because this video game was all the video games. And we told them the news, and everyone was like silent. It was just horrible. It was just a horrible, horrible thing. And then slowly everyone went back into their offices to finish the work we had, because we had episodes still in the ship. We got canceled. We just meant we weren't recording anymore. But we still had how many episodes to deliver?
I think 3 at least.
Yeah.
But then they let us do Christmas.
Then they let us do Christmas because that was we had no ending, and so they're the compromise was we're going to let you do the Christmas episode, which was a separate special from the series. So that was going to serve as our final episode. And that was it.
Now, historically, Nickelodeon had a few different reasons for, canceling the show. It's too dark, it's too crazy, blah, blah, blah. Did they give you guys anything?
It was $500,000 per episode, and after a while, Nickelodeon noticed.
Is this part of the gambling thing?
We never had good reviews. We had horrible reviews.
Well, I mean, do you think
Not
because...
reviews, not reviews. I'm sorry, we had great reviews. We had horrible ratings.
But I think
Great
it was
reviews,
because...
horrible ratings.
I think it was because of the time slot.
The demographic.
And the demographic. I mean, when we had the big premiere, you remember the big premiere party? And
I
it was...
invited.
Great.
This is awkward.
Let's sing Wicked.
Oh, that's right. Billy West got my invitation. Billy got my invitation.
No, but when we were at the party, like, didn't we follow fairly our
Yes.
parents?
Yes.
Yeah.
We appeared the same night.
Sometimes they would kick us off and put on 2 fairly odd parents.
Yeah, and so I mean, it just was the demographic, and it just.
Well, I talked to the name she had at the time. Years later, and she said that she did blame marketing at the time because they had decided that our show was supposed to be geared toward ages 5 to 7.
Yes.
So they had Nielsen. They had Nielsen ratings then, and so they had these households that would sign up to the Nielsen ratings, and you would right now, whether you've got a 5 or 7-year-old in there, and so then they would.
We know you have a 5 or 7-year-old in there. Release them. Release them.
So they would sell commercial time slots for toys and other things that are sold towards that age group, and so they're checking the Nielsen ratings, and they're not getting households that have those age groups to sell those products to. So they thought, oh, nobody's watching, who's supposed to be watching, but they weren't checking Nielsen ratings for people who were 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19, 17, 12.
Could you imagine though,
10,000.
if we were put in the right slot? I mean, that I might have changed a lot of things.
There you go, marketing, and especially like with animation, Rikkie talked about this, like with toy sales. Like, there's so many great shows that have been killed by like, you didn't sell any toys. That's not a good way to judge a show. But on a happy note, it was a cult hit. You talked about this a little bit when you guys came out and started. You saw kind of your reach. You saw that the world was watching, and so many people. I was watching constantly. I thought it was amazing, and I'm a huge animation fan. The animation was insane. The voice is insane, and like you guys said, there was nothing like it. And so it became a huge hit. There's merchandise. People are wearing your merchandise right now, and like there's a GIR, there's a shirt, there's a shirt, there's a shirt, and then there's a costume. Hi GIR. There's and then like but the shirts were all over Hot Topic. There was Zim, there was Gaz shirts, it was all over the place, and it was such a missed opportunity for Nickelodeon.
No, the missed opportunity is that I never got any money for any GIR shirts.
I'll give you a dollar.
You know, that's a catch-22 because you could say that there wasn't enough merchandising, but Hot Topic also has sold, Zim stuff for the last 20 years, and so
It's coming back.
yeah, now it's coming back.
It is, and who judged it? I judged a t-shirt. We both judged a t-shirt,
The design.
a design.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so, in a way, yeah, I agree that there could have been so much more like merchandising across the board, but thank goodness for Hot Topic, because they kept us alive in every mall across America. It's a mall.
They did it for money. There's
Yeah,
a ravenous fan base buying these shirts.
Yeah, and the fact that there wasn't a lot of marketing in other, places like Toys R Us and stuff like that, except for Nick's own brand stuff, made it more special. It made it more cool. It's like you were in on something that the rest of the world wasn't. I think that helped us a lot also, because we're kind of outliers. This show, our show's outliers were. I mean, even when they did the movie, it was Rocco's Modern Life, Animator Zim. Remember Not Parents, Animator Zim. So that's just kind of our thing.
And people, that resonates with people
Yeah.
on a certain level, I think.
But we did get a review in the LA Times, and it was a picture of Zim.
Yeah.
Even though they talked about both shows, they did put the ESC.
Take that, Rocco's Modern Life.
Alright.
It was a good movie, had a good message, but
It was a good movie. Stephen King was a really good movie. I'm a huge fan of Rocco.
So you guys, let's enter the FLORPUS. Let's get into that. You didn't sign up for that, I'm sorry. You guys came back, and a lot of it was fan-driven. There was a lot of fans demanding the return of Invader Zim.
There was a fan group called Soapy Waffles. You guys anybody heard of Soapy Waffles? Soapy Waffles did a full episode. They produced a full episode of Invader Zim, and it was with timing was almost perfect on it. Was just the luck. It was like you would have thought we were watching an episode.
Yeah, cute.
It was really cute.
Yeah, good job, guys.
Really good job. And so yeah, that was so. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, so you guys came back for the movie, and it was like coming home again kind of thing. But did you think we were gonna get another movie? Did you think like?
Well, Rikkie and I have been on the road for 14 years, 20 conventions a year. And every year it's like, hey Rikkie, you think we're gonna do anything more with Zim? How about this year, Rikkie?
They almost came back in 2010. There was a bunch of meetings about doing a series, and then that fell apart for whatever reason. I'm still not sure what happened. And then they started asking me if I wanted to do GIR shorts, and I said, well, Jonah wants to do them, I guess, but Jonah didn't want to do them. So. Because it's kind of weird to do GIR by himself. I mean, I don't know what that would be. Just like.
And Hot Topic already sells GIR shorts.
Missiles.
I remember,
Get your GIR missiles.
I remember how I found out about the movie was Rikkie and I were at a convention and Rikkie said, I know something. Oh, yes.
Well, I had known about negotiations for almost a year and a half before I told Richard.
Yeah.
I don't want to disappoint you. And I don't think Jonah
He doesn't like to disappoint me. He's a good robot.
Well,
And
guess what? They're negotiating on a movie. He's like, and then, no, I'm not. Because it died several times. It just like went up and then down and went down.
But from the moment Rikkie said that to the actual getting it done, that was at least a year or two.
Another year and a half.
Year and a half.
wasn't it, when we did that little, it was like at the end of what, 2016 or so? We did that little record, the podcast,
The podcast thing, yeah.
right? It was
Yeah.
around Christmas time, I
Yeah.
remember. And
That was when
he
they
told
first
me-
decided.
But when I knew that it was going to happen, is one day the phone rang and it was Jonah. And he goes, I just had this great idea. And like he was in the middle, and this is the most amazing thing about Jonah is that he's probably one of the most brilliant people at painting the picture for you as he's seeing it. And he's like, wouldn't it be great if like, and he starts to explain the whole movie and the puppets at the end of FLORPUS. As he was on drive, I'm driving back from it was Arizona or somewhere he had driven to, or up north, I think he was. And I see these puppets like this, like, yeah, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen because when he's excited about something, if we can maintain that excitement,
Yeah.
he
Gotta keep him up. Keep on uppers. Just keep getting coffee. Get it in there.
Here, Jordan, we got you uppers for your birthday. How about a series? Let's do a series. There's some uppers.
Give him some core gummies.
Yes,
Core gummies.
Rikkie gummy snack.
Sugar.
And you guys came back and you did the movie, and looking at the cast of the movie, rather small. It was just 5 or 6 of you, and Jonah did voices.
Jonah
That's something that I
He
don't
did
think
voices
a
in
lot
the
of people
series.
know. He did
He's
voices.
Minis. And clip braid.
He's Clint Brain in the movie.
Clint Brain.
He's always been the house computer. He's lots of different characters. He's splattered all around in the original series.
He's also the one who takes GIR's order in GIR Goes Crazy.
Yes. He's the guy holding onto the Coke can, and when Mars is trying to crush it, going, oh no! Oh!
And I, as a fan, I actually did not know that until I was looking at the cast list when I watched the movie and it was going through. And I was like, Eric Bauza, I know that guy, blah, blah, blah. And then it was like, John did so many voices. And how many people knew that? How many people knew? 5 people. 5 people and Richard, who's just going with the crowd. 6 people.
A lot of people went on to go do stuff after the show too. Our art director at the time was Brian Konietzko, who went on to create Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I actually, when the show got canceled, it was basically art director was left and color department was left, and so Brian and I were going to lunch all the time, and he was talking about the show he was going to pitch to Nickelodeon about these kung fu kids and stuff. I was like, that sounds nice.
Hey, Rick, you like air? What do you think about Earth?
What about bending it?
What about fire? Like, we should do a show about air, fire, and bending.
Interesting note about Brian Konietzko, I think you should know, he kept a superhero costume in his trunk of his car of an iguana man. True story.
Now, you guys, the movie's out. It's on Netflix. It's been doing crazy. I've been seeing it everywhere. Lots of great reviews. How does it feel, like having it done and like you did it? You didn't know you were coming back and then you did it.
I'm just happy it came out because for the longest time, we had finished it over a year ago before it ever came out. And we were getting really frustrated because it's like, is it going to come out? We premiered the animation, but there were no voices at the time at Comic-Con. Not this last one, but the one before.
And Jonah didn't like, his favorite voiceover stuff didn't match up with his favorite animation stuff. They hadn't been mixed together yet, so we decided since it's a trailer, we have to show the his favorite animation without the voices and just music.
And the music that they did for
Yeah.
it specifically.
Yeah.
Kevin did
For the
for
trailer.
the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's great. We're happy.
It's great to finally see the the movie came back. But I have to tell you, I am asked all the time, does this mean it's coming back? And I can't answer it. We don't know.
I definitely was not going to ask that question.
No, but I mean,
The movie happened basically because Jonan had been working at Disney for about 4 years on pitching another show, working on a pilot called Very Important House. And as he described it, he'd been told no over and over and over again for 4 years. And then Nickelodeon, as soon as that show didn't happen and fell apart, Nickelodeon swooped in immediately and said, do you want to do more Zim? And you do whatever you want. It was refreshing for him to hear someone say yes after 4 years of no.
I think one of my most frustrating things with the movie right now is if you read a lot of reviews, they'll always end the same way. It's a great ending for this series. It's a great finale for this series. It's like, it's not the end of the show. It's like
just a big fat episode.
like everything. It's like at the end of Polonius Maximus, Dib and Zim are baloney, and that wasn't the end of the show. It's a great ending as they ran off as wieners, you know?
There are children here.
Yeah.
it's true. But you know, I read a review that said it was something like, well, it leaves it open.
One did.
Right?
That's
one
the one we did.
We get that.
Question for the audience. Would you like more Invaders?
No!
Alright guys, we're gonna storm Nickelodeon. They can't stop all of us.
Yeah, so you got SpongeBob moments.
So I'm gonna have people start to line up on this little row right here. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, complaints about me. But yeah, if anybody wants to come up and ask questions, we're gonna do a Q&A and go over anything that may have been missed. Please, one question per person, that way we can kind of get through this. And don't ask if they can sign anything. They are signing at Social Square. Or you can come down, get a signature, and get a picture with them. All right, I'm gonna come down.
Hi. My name is Casey McCaffrey, and to Richard, I have a question to Richard. Remember Rikkie mentioned Lord of the Rings?
Right, yeah.
Can you really say, you
They should
show
make
us
it-
pass into a chaos for the same question? It's like, you shall not pass.
You should do an novelization version of that movie.
Okay. And you shall not pass.
So you guys are always acting crazy in the episodes. How do you get into character? Are there certain exercises that you do to prepare?
Mortal Kombat.
I think there are vocal exercises that I would always do, like, you know, smoke a pack of cigarettes. That works for Gaz.
Chunky peanut butter, skinny and some mayonnaise on top.
Lots of lozenges and hot tea.
Yeah, lots of water. Right?
Lots of water.
No, you know, we just like to play. That's what we call it. We're just playing and having fun, so it's not hard to get into it. Sometimes maybe it'll take a take or two before we're like this is like in the series, I would get a script the night before and it'd be like, page 1, Zim says, ah! Page 2, ah! Page 3, good! Page 4, ah! It's not hard to get into that.
I try not to do too much because I know Joan's just gonna workshop it while we're there.
It's true. But you know, like even like, you know, we use your voice and you're a voice actor. You have to warm up your voice, like if you're doing really high voice, and you still have to warm it up if you're doing really low voice too. I was joking about this.
Don't smoke.
Unless you're going to try and, because I did an audition last year for that Name of the Wind. They were re-editing that Orson Welles movie.
That one.
And they want to see if I could voice match. Yeah, they want to see if I could voice match one of the actors in there. And I was having trouble with it. I realized, oh, they don't smoke back then. So I just started eating peanut butter and stuff to get all, and it was pretty good, but I didn't get it.
They said name your wind.
No, the name of the
The name Yes.
All right, what's your question?
So,
That's Nikki. Hi, Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
so my
Shiny hat.
question is, do you guys ever relate to your characters? I kind of hope not because they don't know how to do
Yes. 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 I have a famous saying that I'm not really a people person. I'm a person, but mass humanity as a whole is like.
So, for you, I always like to say about Gaz specifically that I have 3 older brothers who just made my life so difficult as a child. No, we're all very, very close, but I was the youngest, the only girl, 3 older brothers, so tapping into the sisterly anger of Gaz really worked for me.
I heard Jonan do an interview on a podcast a year ago, and the interviewer asked him where did GIR come from, and he just laughed. He goes, "Rickie's a weird guy."
Thank you.
Like, really?
All right, so this one is for Richard. It's nothing to do with beer zim,
Yes.
but
I'll just see you later.
all right, it's for Angry Beavers. Question is, can you explain the shush up incident?
Ah, yes.
Because I just want to hear it.
The shush up incident was this. We had written in the show, Norbert had said, "Shut up, dang it," and we weren't allowed to say "shut up," and so we had to go, and then it was about to air, so we had to do an emergency record where we had to change it to "Hush up, Dad," and then they aired the "Shut Up" episode anyway. Happened also in other episodes we did. There's several times where they, at the last minute, censors, standards of practice, said, "Nope, can't do this. It's out." There's a famous one on our show. Yeah, that's
Zim, we blew up New York. No, but it was, we did an episode where, in Zim, where...
selling the candies.
Selling the candy, puts on a VR.
Imagine a world in which you do not buy my
And the world that
candies.
these people see is like a destroyed New York City, but 9/11 it just happened. So they're like, no, we cannot show that. So we changed it to them like demons pitchforking people into cages, which looked even worse. But what they aired was the New York one. Yeah.
You know, there's sometimes when they say you can't do something that makes us like come up with stuff that I think is even better. Like we couldn't say you're from the underworld.
Yeah.
We couldn't use the term underworld. So we came up with, Jonah came up with, which was brilliant, was you're from the place beneath the overworld.
Yeah, shut your noise tube.
Yeah, shut your noise tube instead of taco man.
Perfect, thank you. And next, and we're gonna cap the line right there. Nobody else
Use
get
the
up.
hand
I'll fight you.
We had an episode where we couldn't show the FBI bust in, and it showed the FBI with guns, and we couldn't show guns. So in my department, we changed it to bananas. That they hold.
Hi, I'm Mai. Talked a little bit yesterday.
Oh, hi, Mike. How are you?
You mentioned yesterday that one of your favorite improv lines was the "you're ugly when you lie."
Yes. We did that. The line was originally was you're ugly when you lie, Dib, and it just stopped with I'm not lying. It was just like during the record, I said, then why are you ugly? So I liked it, so that
Can I
was
tell you that's my favorite line from
That's
the
one
movie?
of my
I didn't know
favorite.
that.
I have 3 favorite moments in there besides GIR on his donkey, which is I love it. And then it just slides.
We actually, there was a line cut as he flies off. He goes, "Sorry," but they couldn't hear it because there's so much noise in the scene, so they just cut that out.
There's 3. My favorite moments in that, besides, then why are you ugly, is, 4. I like, what? Yeah. What? That harkens back to what we did, which was also improv. Like, who are you?
That was done as original because they didn't animate cars going back and forth on the street, so they just added more noise.
Who are you? Who are you? But that, and I like, could you dance see him do this? Yeah, they're showing respect, and GIR goes, no, they're not. Yes, they are, 'cause they did all this.
have your,
This is the most
Yes.
pudding I have ever had.
It's like, where did that
Thank you.
go? Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Hi there, I'm Dan. You also know me. To go off of that last question, actually, were there any other episodes during the series where you guys had improv lines? And if so, what were some of your favorite improv moments?
I didn't really get, improv was just sort of like, we got to do a free pass on doing something the way we liked.
ADR, we got to do a lot of that.
we do like 3 takes a lot of times for safety, and so like when a girl goes, "Why is his head so big?" That was originally just it. He says it once, but then I did the A, B, and C. So why is his head so big? Why is his head so big? Why is his head so big? And Jonah liked all 3, so he used all 3.
In the pilot, the original line was, invaders' blood marches through my veins like giant radioactive rubber ants. And I said, marches through my veins like giant radioactive rubber pants. I said, okay, let's do that.
I can't think of it. I can't think of it right now. But I did. But when we did the Christmas special, that makes me.
Oh my God.
We did the Christmas special.
Wait, I get those right. You guys know the song? Bow down, bow down. You know that really like the Viking woman with the things? That's Melissa.
Yes, and that was just fun because we were all singing, and I'm like, Jordan, should we sing soprano? Can I sing soprano? And I'm like, wait, can you listen to this? And he was like, I love it. So I did 10 of them.
How many people here know that Melissa was in the original Broadway cast of Wicked? I knew it.
How many people know that Melissa's also a very talented jazz singer?
Hey, I flew back from doing Wicked, to do the Christmas special. Thank you for finishing the sentence.
Finishing your sentence.
Yeah, finishing my sentences. Yes, and yes.
Thank you for your question. Luffy?
I just wanted to, you guys mentioned earlier how Hot Topics have, you guys are merch back, and I just want to let you guys know you guys do such good work, basically. The audience is never dead. I always have a bunch of customers that are always coming in and asking for the shirts. But I do have a quick question for Richard, though.
Yes. Why are there no Zim shirts? That's what I'd like to know. Where did Zim go? America loves
The remake of Destroy All Humans, which was released back on the PS2 years ago, and I wanted to ask if your position in Pops was that were you able to land that position because you played Sims?
Yeah, a lot of the video games I've done, like Raz and Psychonauts, which is Psychonauts 2 is coming out this year. It's good. The creators were huge Zen fans. So Orthopox is kind of just a British Zen. It's like Asians crypto, focus crypto, there'll be time for probing later. I'm not really crazy about the new re-release of the thing because they're remastering it and they didn't bother to tell the voice actors, so they're just lifting our lines from the original one and putting it in the new one again. So we'll see.
Thank you for your question. Thank you for your services. Sushi Master.
I originally came to this Comic Con for Melissa Fahn because I'm a big Cowboy Bebop fan. I didn't know I never watched Invader Zim, but
But he will now, but I will now.
Put the pitchforks down.
Should I watch, for somebody new to Invader Zim, should you watch the movie first, or should you watch the Christmas special?
We won't let you watch it at all.
You can watch the movie without worrying about seeing anything before.
But you would get a lot out of it if you did watch the whole series before. But watch the movie.
Yeah, it's not wonderful. But if you see the movie, you're gonna go, what the hell is this?
You might need to see a little series.
Yeah, the series is a little bit more informative, and then you're in on it by the time you get to the movie. But you don't have to.
Episode.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I would say it's like a standalone episode, but you kind of want context for it.
You need a little.
Here's a thought, watch it all! Now!
No pressure. No
Right now it's
pressure.
on Hulu,
That's what you said.
and the movie's on Netflix. So.
I know. You go watch that, and then we'll all watch Cowboy Bebop.
I've seen Cowboy Bebop.
Oh,
Did you like it?
Rickie's out. You know,
You saw it so tight. Clearly you need to watch it again.
Thank you for your question. And yeah, big shout out to the Cowboy Bebop. That was one of my best voiceover animations that, like, historically, really good job.
Thank you.
And I'll make you watch it. Don't worry.
You need to watch it. Oh, anime, yeah. That's what they call it. They call it anime.
Yeah, I noticed.
No, they're serious. I know.
I saw his pinky go out.
Hi, I'm Sierra. Love you guys. Shows like the show really makes you want to work. I totally want to do art for, shows for animated TV. Thank you. But also, you see like big Nick kids, like really ordinary from SpongeBob. They're really successful, but you kind of see them go through season a lot over the years. The way that Invaders Zim ended, are you like almost glad in a way that it kept the heart of the show?
I don't think it would have kept its integrity the whole time. Don't you think? It wouldn't have.
I understand.
So she's saying, like, if it had been on air the whole time, you think it would have taken a dip in quality
Hi,
or...
Jeremy. How you doing?
I don't think it would have, just because we know Jonah's standards. Don't you think?
What?
I think my bank account dipped. That's all.
They did. No, she's saying that for shows that have been on for years and years and years, sometimes they go through a dip and
No.
I don't think it would have. No. I really don't. I really don't. I think he was
Like, if Jordan even stepped away, it would be like comics, where he would supervise from afar and let other people work on it and go, yes, no, maybe not, I don't know. But he would always be involved in some way because he's just like that. It's like he's like a baby that latches on to like another baby and will let go of that baby and like, whoa, which one's the original baby? It's a big baby ball. I've never had children. I don't know how babies work.
All right, guys, so unfortunately the next panel is here, and I lost track of time and we went over, but you can get your questions asked to them in person in Social Square. I'm so sorry. I did. It was frozen. Thank you. Thank you for caring about my bagel. I was very upset this morning. It was a long story. But please come see these guys at Social Square. We're going to head down there in just a minute. Thank you all for coming.
Saturday weekend.
All right, guys, see them down at Social Square right now. Well, they're going to do